gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and sending me on Twitter the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Lust Shards, Tate's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. My heart is fluttering from excitement. Ragnar is almost crying from happiness, and the cat is getting a wider smile by the second. This calls for a group hug! I grab the big, hard bicep on my right and the soft and delicate one from my left, dragging them closer. I squeeze them both as close as I can until the new confusion on their face disappears. They return the hug, cementing the new bond created by the cat's acceptance. I think this is enough. Just one more second. Since when did you become so handsy? Since I get to hold a mostly naked buff man in my arms. You did a 180 on your opinion. Why can't I turn around on my handsiness? Sure. Back to the elephant in the camp. Where? It's just a saying. It means I want to talk about something important. Interesting. I would kind of like to know more about your sibling theory, Ragnar. Yes? About that. Let's go answer some questions. Zoop! He takes our hands, and for the first time I realize how strong these Nightfallen are. Like feathers in the wind, our bodies were swept after him with no chance of resisting. Ruth, get the lizard to clean up Kivathi's bones. Oh. What? Oh, okay. Gotcha. He addresses a large bear with only half a mask, who grunts in response. So far, he's the biggest around. I'll have to remember that in case I need to take out the biggest one among them to assert dominance. Huh. The lizard apparently being a savage Nightfallen in shackles, who I only see for a couple seconds before I'm dragged away. The bear says something to the lizard in the wild fur's language. The first thing I notice is that the lizard understands his orders. The second is that the bear sounds like he's ashamed or embarrassed to tell him what to do, fidgeting with his fingers and almost whispering those orders. The lizard dips his head in understanding and walks away, leaving the bear relieved the interaction is over. Huh. I would ask some questions if there weren't more important things on my mind right now. Where exactly are we going? You're going to meet my father, the chief. He knows the full story of my brother better than I do. So, my supposed stepfather? Right. Plus, obviously the chief has agreed guests, especially the ones that found Kivathi. Some thank yous are in order. Sorry if I'm being too judging, but aren't Nightfallen very lustful and stuff? Yes, we are. In fact, the first thing you have to do when entering the chief's quarters is dropping off your pants and bending over to him, letting him choose his favorite guest to penetrate. Okay, I guess if it's cultural, we can't be rude and refuse. Haha. He's joking, Travis. Ragnar looks back at me with a smirk. I knew that. Obviously. Double joke, that's what I was doing. Do not worry, I am quite familiar with your kind, so I made sure to pause any traditions that are seen as vulgar to you. The hardest part was convincing the women to cover up their breasts. Nobody, including me, could understand why your kind hides them away, but let the males hold theirs free. Meh, I'm gay, I don't know anything about that. I know too little to talk, but I appreciate the thought. Soon the main camp is left behind, and as we walk further through the trees, arriving at yet another clearing with a larger building as the main attraction. Come, come! A cool-looking hut. He excitedly drags us close to the large wooden door, guarded by two fully masked Nightfallen with spears. As soon as they spot Ragnar approaching, they both bow deeply before one of them knocks on the door. Commence! A deep man's voice with an accent similar to Ragnar's gives us permission to enter, and the other guard opens the door with an inviting gesture. We step inside warily but curiously. The interior is well illuminated by the many glassless windows, with shadows cast by the few makeshift bamboo blinds. The main room is spacious and empty save for the few cabinets and a large table in the middle, with chairs all around and a throne facing the door, on top of which a Nightfallen is sitting. I don't think this matches the outside aesthetic very well. I mean, it could just be two completely different scenes that have been blurred or whatever. He lets go of a piece of charcoal he's been using, dusts his paws off, then rises up to reveal a monster of a man. Oh my god. This Nightfallen makes Dallin look like a child, especially with that excuse of a loincloth. That, I would argue, makes his overall demeanor much more suggestive than being simply naked. He holds a confident and imposing stance, eyeing us carefully through his skull mask, even with no eye holes, even with no eye holes, but I'm sure there is an explanation for that. His super revealing clothes don't make it any easier to look directly at him. Father. Ragnar. Ragnar bows while the chief gives a curt nod. Are these Kivathi's caretakers? Yes, this is Travis, and this is... You have finally returned home. Yeah... Just a heads up, I don't remember anything or anyone here. Especially not you, so if we could keep this less personal and more informative, that would be great. Oh, right. We both bow to the chief since, as Ragnar said, our importance here is below the chief. I appreciate the thought. I wasn't going to demand our ways be followed down to greetings, but I see you already made a point to impress me, and it is working. Rise up, children. I understand this must be complicated for you, so sudden, too. Ragnar told me all about the two of you, and it would be my pleasure to bring back those lost memories of your childhood. But first, I want to focus on the present. You, Travis, was it? Yes, sir. As a stranger to our tribe, you didn't have to show us kindness, but here you are. We want to thank you, specifically for Kivathi's safety. And as my stepson's mate, we will... What? What? We're not, mates? The chief looks at Ragnar, confused. That's my fault. My apologies. You two reminded me so much of my mate and I that I must have gotten confused and jumped to conclusions. Just comrades, then? Yeah, you can say that. He grinned subtly. Now, as you might know, if my son didn't get confused about delivering this information as well, we're holding a celebration. The preparations are already ongoing. You just lay back and relax. Our home is your home. Thank you, sir. We are already feeling very welcome. I am actually very curious to find out more about your lifestyle. I hope my presence and curiosity won't bother anyone. On the contrary, you were the talk of the tribe the whole day. Everyone wants a piece of you. Literally or metaphorically? I believe it means using words to talk about one thing, but meaning something else. Ah, I understand. All of those words in this intriguing language. So, family history time. Where shall we start? So, literally, or... The beginning would be preferable. Wait, before you begin, Travis, do you mind if I listen alone? What? But why? I want to form my own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions about this whole thing. With you here, I'm afraid I'll think too much with my heart, not enough with my brain. Are you saying I'm making you stupider? More like emotional and irrational. I contemplate for a second. I do understand his point. This is obviously none of my business in the end. He probably doesn't want me to convince him whether or not the story is real or judge him in any way. All I can do is show my support to this part of his life without intervening. Alright, if that's what you want. But, if your conclusion is a positive one in the end, then I'm going to want all the details. And I won't let you get away with your usual everyone has their secrets BS. He looks a bit surprised, like I made a very bold move, but ultimately he chuckles. Of course! Why would I hide a happy story from you? I'm gonna brag about this for years if that's the case. I extend my arm for a fist bump, which he immediately returns. See you at the celebration, fatherless leopard. I'll save you a spot, twice-adopted cat. Wonderful. In that case, we'll have a one-on-one meeting. Ragnar? Huh? You want me to leave? I was kind of curious to hear everything as well. I only know vague bits and pieces. You're not going to push our guest out into unfamiliar territory alone, are you? Ah, you're right. I forgot to introduce him to Eureka or Ruth. No matter, we'll have our own fun and write our own story. Come on, Travis. Time to satisfy that thirst for knowledge of yours. Right behind you. I follow my guide outside, forgetting how bright the sun can be when not obscured by walls and blinds. Ragnar slides his hand in mine as we step away from the chief's hut, nonchalantly, so naturally that I can't find reasons or time to complain. He takes me by the pine, towards a narrow path that goes to another part of the camp. This area is deeper into the woods, the shadows enveloping most of the festive decorations already places all around. Flowers, totems, wooden statues, and more. The main attraction being a huge round table set around a pillar identical to the one the wyvern sits under. Sweet and savory aromas hit my nose as we approach, smoke rising from inside a couple of open tents, as well as from campfires that slowly roast meat, cook stews or soups or whatever you cook in a big pot. All this curiosity made me forget to even ask where he's taking me, but that question is answered once he lets go of my hand, and an intriguing figure makes its way out of one of the huts. A tall and lithe Nightfallen emerges, locks eyes with us, and hurries our way. Ragnar's eyes sparkle with happiness, and perhaps other personal emotions as well. Eureka! Ah, so that's her. Now that she's closer, I can offer exposition about her appearance to myself, for no reason in particular, like I always do. She seems to be a feline, a lynx to be more precise, although I'm not sure how related to animal species Nightfallen can be. Large, piercing eyes and garments that, for once, are covering more than 10% of her body. Look who remembered to visit me. Finally done with your self-assigned missions? I'm sorry, Kivathi's situation took me away for a while, you know. The same reason you've been stuck in camp, cooking, decorating, and your medicine stuff. As long as you remember our drill, you can forget about me as much as you want. How can I forget? The more time I spend away from you, the wilder our reunion nights are. He embraces her playfully, trying to kiss her neck while she holds back laughter. Stop it! Those are the conditions you made up. I'm just thankful that the better you do your job, the more safe Kivathi will be. Speaking of... She pushes past Ragnar and stops before me, bowing deeply. The White Leopard. You must be Travis. I am. It's nice to meet you. I heard so much about you, through third-party mouths, since Ragnar simply doesn't have time for me. He hugs her again, apologetically. I take it you're the mate he's been talking about. You're doing that again? I told you we can't be mates. It simply makes no sense. I know, I just like the idea. So no, to answer your question, we're not. And being mates is just a title for male and female couples. We are simply partners. I give myself a nice fat facepalm after the realization hit. Is something wrong? Sorry, I just kind of assumed you were female. Based on appearance? Yes? He turns to Ragnar, both of them chuckling. Do I present myself as female? Well, you do have the childbearing hips. I can see how that would be misleading. Eureka turns around and checks his behind, while Ragnar pokes it and grabs his lumps with both hands. Ah, my lovely lady lumps. Wait, the fuck did he just say? Whoa! Jesus! And the amount of seed you can hold is just so... Ragnar! That's enough, not for our guest. You know how shy they are with these things. I'm just being honest. Don't tell me you're not trying even a little bit to be more eye-catching today. You don't usually roll up your sleeves. Eureka blushes and looks away, caught in hypocrisy. When I think about it, his voice should have been a giveaway from the start, although soft and soothing, it still has a more masculine, deeper tone to it. Although I don't mind your ways, or how I should put it better. It would bother me more if I knew you don't feel at home just because of my presence here. Besides, you'd be surprised how similar the Academy is to this place when it comes to lewd stuff. Are you saying you want to be more included? He's saying he wants to feel more included. Well, that can be arranged. I think the first step would be to get more accustomed to the camp. Yes, that's why I'll take it from here. What? You think I don't know my own camp well enough to be a guide? You have to prepare the music and make sure the table is set for when we come back. Come back? You're already stealing Travis away from me? Eureka sticks to me with both arms wrapped around one of mine, looking at Ragnar with a sly gaze. It's my turn for a while. Besides, I've been working my ass off the whole day while you were playing in the trees. That is fair enough. See you in a little bit. Come, let us gather everyone from the main camp. Meanwhile... What do you think so far? I had no idea Nightfallen can cast magic. It is much, much weaker than what you and your people can do. Ragnar is more talented than me, but I know all the spells I need to know to protect my tribe. What about your backstory? It is definitely believable, and it makes a lot of sense. And Mr. Sebel said I came from the forest, never went into details. Still, why would I run away in the first place? And why don't I remember anything? I was 5. Kids remember things since they turned 3. I cannot tell you. Soon after, Ragnar started his journey as well, making me lose 2 cubs in such a short period. And a mate. Jeez. So, what happened to my stepmom? She was killed by hunters one unfortunate winter night. The prey and resources around camp were scarce, and so she decided to go further, towards a city populated by your kind, despite my warnings. Only 6 moons after, we found you. I'm sorry. It is not your fault. I always considered you part of us, so I can't hold a grudge against you. A lot more of our tribe mates suffered the same fate along the moons. This is why I want Kavathi to grow strong, and make sure nothing like that ever happens again.
At least it's now illegal to hunt you.
Yes, it's good news. Let's go back to happy memories. Now, do you want to know about the name we've chose for you back then?
Hell yeah!
Back to you. Today I've been dragged along a lot by many people, and Eureka is no exception once again. Once again, I'm surprised by the strength he has being a Nightfallen. His arms are definitely not thicker than mine. It's not fair! More bushes and low tree branches hit my face as we walk back on the narrow path.
It sounds like the celebration has begun in these parts.
Indeed, the quiet, peaceful atmosphere of the main camp turned to excitement and laughter all around. Nightfallen playing on improvised drums and singing in their language with high-pitched voices. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Tresem Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!